Hello and thanks for joining. Today's tutorial is going to be Java tutorial number 6, and what I'm going to do today is share with you how to do if-else statements in Java and show you a scenario of where you might use something like this. So here's an example, and this would be a good example where you have an if statement and you use else if statements, and then finally an else statement if none of these match. So this is good for things in a range. In this case I'm doing sales commissions. If you have a certain value, what's your commission payout? But it could be, another good example would be if you get a certain grade on a final exam, what's your grade in the course, or what's your grade on the exam? So like for example, this, instead of sales, this could be anything above a 90, could be an A, and then if it's between an 80 and a 90 it could be a B. So in this case we did sales as this example, and then what we're doing here, we're setting the value in this case to, and the variable name is sales and it's an integer, and we set it to 7,000. So then what we do down here is we have an if statement. We say if sales are greater than or equal to 9,000, so 9,000 and above, we ask the system to print out this line. Your commission is $1,000. However, we have an else if statement. Else if, what if sales are greater than or equal to 8,000? So that means if it's between 8,000 and 8,999, this line prints out. And then we do the same thing in between 7,000 and 7,999. And then what we do is once we get below 6,000, we just say else system.out print line, your commission is $300, which will be the default. So the else is if none of the above statements match in those ranges, this is what the output is. So what we're going to do, we're going to jump in here, and I'm going to go into my package, I'm going to create new class. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to call it else if, and then I'm going to go ahead and check the box here for public static void for that line, and I'm going to go ahead and say finish, and then we're going to go in here and we're going to go ahead and recreate that. So I'm going to go in here and do integer sales, and I'm going to set it to 7,000. Then I'm going to go down here and do an if statement, and what am I asking for? I'm asking if sales are greater than or equal to 9,000, then we're going to set up curly brackets, and then we're going to say SYSO, and then the shortcut is if you type SYSO and hit Control and the space bar, it's going to type out, it's going to put that command in system.out.println, and then I'm going to say your commission is $1,000. Okay, then we're going to go down here and we are going to do another line here. We're going to do, oops, sorry, I forgot to close the brackets there. So now we're going to do else if, and my else if is going to be, what if my sales are greater than or equal to 8,000? And then what we do is we have another open bracket, and then we do the SYSO, Control, Tab, and then we say your commission is $900, and then we close the quotes. Okay, then we go down here and do the same thing again. So now what I'm going to do is, rather than typing that all out, I'm going to go down here and I'm going to go ahead and just modify this. So I'm going to go down here and I am going to copy these down. Alright, clean them up a little bit. So I'm going to go down over here. Now let's see, I am missing a close bracket here. So I'm going to put that there. Else if, that there, system.out, and I'll clean this up a little bit, and then I'll go down here and do this one too, and I will close that bracket, and I'll move this over, and that's just to save a little bit of time here. So we'll go over here, so 8,000, we'll change this one to 7,000, and then we'll change this to $800. This one's going to change to $700, and then we're going to make this one 6,000, and we're going to go ahead and make this one, if your sales are over 5,000. I don't even need that one. Let's change that one. Let's make that the else statement. So I'm going to do 700, 1,900, 800, 700. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to come over here and I'm going to say, and now, if none of those match, I'm going to make an else statement. And my else statement is going to be, I don't have a range anymore because this is going to be my bucket, my catch-all. And I'm going to come down here and say system.out. Print line, your commission is $300. Okay, and now you can see I've got a nice clean program, and now I'm going to do Control S for save it. I'm going to right click here and I'm going to say run as Java application, and that's my last program. Okay, so you can see here my output was your commission is $800. So $7,000 should fall in this range right here between $7,000 and $8,000, which means this is the match. Your commission is $800. So if we go up here and we change this and we said you only made $1,000, and I do a Control S and I go ahead and save it, I'm going to run it again. I'm going to say run the Java application. You can see my commission is $300. Okay, so that's how you do an else if scenario statements. And then in the future we're going to get into how to get user input and so forth, because typically you would not have all this in here. You'd be asking someone to input information like, you know, what were their total sales, what was their grade on the test, or whatever it may be. So anyways, that's what I wanted to share with you. Thanks for joining, and please subscribe. Take care.